That's Twisted.
This is Mark McNeese with my co-host Rick Rose, and you're listening to another edition of The Twist. Welcome to The Twist Podcast, everybody. Show number 75. Mark here in rural New Jersey, and I believe my co-host Rick Rose is on the road.
That's right. Beautiful, colorful northern Wisconsin, right on the border of the UP of Michigan. It's that time of year, Mark.
It is. It's gorgeous, and it's that time of year here, too. That's one of the things I like about living where the seasons are very distinct, because I love the colors, the way the trees, the leaves fall and they're beautiful, and I love it. And I know it's that way in Wisconsin too.
It is. And we're going to talk about that. We're talking about some travel stuff on the show, guys. We've kind of changed our format with show 74. Do a lot of travel stuff. We're going to yap. And you can follow us on Instagram, folks, if you'd like.
Yep, the Twist Podcast on Instagram and also on Twitter. So follow us there and check us out. And it's really, we're just playing with the format a little bit. It's reviews. It's not always going to be travel. Like next week, I want to talk about Halloween in Lambertville, which is near here. And it's a major Halloween town. Like, these people are extreme. So I want to talk about that next week. So it'll be stuff like that, plus headlines and commentary, because we're the Twist. We can't help it. And I'm going to talk about what our president did last night in Mississippi.
Oh, geez. I don't know exactly what. His little rally where.
Well, he mocked Christine Blasey Ford, and I have something very strong to say about that. So that'll be toward the end of the show. I just want to say welcome to Wilma, our new cat family member. We lost William about a month ago, our beloved cat. And then 2 days ago, we adopted a new one. Her name is Wilma. She was a shelter cat. She's 3 years old. We have given her a fabulous home in the country to grow old in. So welcome, Wilma. And she came out a little bit this morning. She's like a little Spitfire. She's a little electric animal. She's running back and forth, and she's in hiding again now. But welcome, Wilma. She'll come back. So
she's probably a little shy, too. Doesn't she have other cats in the house she's got to get used to?
Well, Jessie, and old Jessie. Jessie's 20, and she just stared at her.
Oh, my gosh.
Jessie was indifferent. She didn't care, which is good, because I didn't want any conflict. But Wilma was from a hoarding situation. People hoard cats.
Oh, yeah, those hoarders, yeah.
And there were a bunch of those. We went to Bucks County SPCA, shout out to them for all they do for the animals. But Wilma's, she's 3 years old, but she was rescued from a hoarding house. And so, of course, she's traumatized. She's got lots of fears and stuff, but she's got the right gay couple to bring her back to health and longevity.
Who's the gay couple?
Me and Frank.
Oh, okay. You and your husband.
My husband.
Okay, got it. I'm with it, Mark.
Okay, I'm just going to hit on the cruise part 2, because that was part of the headline.
This is Canada. Last week you talked about the U.S.
That's right. This is Cruise Part 2, right. Oh, Canada. That's the headline.
Oh, and, Canada. And I may have some questions along the way, because I'd like to head up there. And I know you guys spend a lot of time in Quebec, but shoot, I want to hear your story.
Well, Quebec City. And I've been to Montreal years ago, but this was Quebec City, and we were there for 2 days, which is nice. The ship docked for 2 nights. It's usually just 1 day in a port. But I got to say, if you can get to Quebec City, train, plane, car, however you get there, it's such a great destination. It's mid-size. It's not small, and it's not huge. But it's very, very cool. I did a column about cruising for my website, and I said that it was like Greenwich Village if Greenwich Village were much bigger and a whole lot cleaner. Canada, I've been, even Minnesota, I've been to places that they're like big places, but they're clean. I love New York City, but New York City is filthy. And Quebec City, it's got the cool art shops, the restaurants, it's fabulous, and it's really clean.
And it feels almost like you're in a European country too. So I know you're in a Canadian city, which is different, but it's got that feel, doesn't it?
Sure, and it's bilingual. There are a lot of Quebecois, I believe you call them, who would like independence. There was an effort to stop having signs in English not long ago, but currently everything is pretty much in both French and English. But also their French is distinct from Parisian French, and one of the guides, I really liked her. She had grown up in the States because her English was flawless. There was no accent, so I talked to her about that, and she was actually from that area. But anyway, she said that the French from France, the French speakers, are very snobbish, And the Canadians, they have a hard time understanding Canadian French, which makes sense. It's like if you and I were talking to somebody from Scotland, they're speaking English, but you have a hard time with it. But she said the French tourists tend to act like everything's better in France and Paris, which is, kind of goes with the reputation of the French. Even though I love Paris, I'm not knocking them. But, call it what it is. And I think French, and I said to somebody, Manhattanites are just the same way. They think Manhattan is it, and they won't even come to Queens. It's like Queens is another world to them that they're not interested in. So I understand being snobby. But
but it's all part of New York City. It's fine.
Yeah, and I wasn't snobby. I lived in Queens. I got past the snobbiness. So anyways, Quebec, and then we went to Saguenay, which was still heavily French, very small, not a lot going on. And then by the time we got to Nova Scotia, which, by the way, is Latin for New Scotland, in case you're wondering. Because I said to Frank,
I didn't know that.
No, I said to Frank, what does Nova Scotia mean? It's not French. And right when I said it, we were in, I believe it was Halifax. There we went, this little shop, so I had a sign out front that said Nova Scotia is Latin for New Scotland.
Oh, neat.
So anyways, that would be my second favorite place. My favorite place was Quebec City. My second favorite was Halifax, because it's in Nova Scotia, but it's a really cool small place. Saguenay, God bless them. I mean, the ships bring in a lot of their economy because there's not much going on there. And Sydney was the same kind of thing. I'm not going to knock them, but Halifax was really cool. And then we sailed back. So I love cruising. Read my new Out One Thing or Another column at markmcniece.com. It's 800 words about the joys of cruising, with a little bit of humor thrown in there, because I did say it was like being on a floating nursing home. This particular cruise, they're not all like that. But anyways, the next one we're going to be celebrating my retirement. I promise. I swear to God.
Oh, that sounds fantastic. Cruising is always good.
Have you got any questions before you do your thing? Any questions?
No, I don't. I don't think so. Hold on one second, though, Mark. Keep talking for a minute.
Oh, I will. I will absolutely do that. I love to cruise. I also love to be in hotels, by the way. It's just a very different experience. I like getting away from home and not having any chores. I like having housekeeping, changing the sheets and the laundry and all this stuff. And I'm pretty much not a blue collar, but I'm a, what do you call them? What do you call people who like work in delis and stuff? Working class. I'm a working class man. Yeah, I'm a working class guy myself, so I'd never look down on any of these people. And the crews oh my God, they work so hard. The crews on a cruise ship, they don't stop working. It's like you see them at 6 a.m. and you see them at 10 at night. It's like they work really, really hard, and they do 7-month contracts, and then they go home for 2 or 3 months, and then they can get on and they can come back and do the ship again or a different ship. But kudos to
that's
really hard
really.
workers.
And I was thinking that would be a great TV show, Mark. And we haven't had one since Love Boat, but like the behind the scenes with the crew and stuff, I think they could bring that idea back.
I like that. We could call it the Loathe Boat.
The Loathe Boat.
Well, a ship full of Trump supporters.
Did you have that going on too?
No, but I'm telling you, with all these old rich retirees, because I mean, it takes a certain amount. I'm not going to say they're all rich. We're not rich. But a woman did point out to me, I think I said this last week, that when it's a 2-week cruise after the start of school, so you're going to get lots and lots of old people. And quite a few of them I know we had some that were libs, as they like to call us, libtards. But there were definitely some Trump supporters on that ship. Absolutely. Because we would overhear them at dinner, and then we would have to move tables.
Oh, good for you.
No, we didn't move tables. I'm kidding. I know. We just started talking about how much we love Nancy Pelosi in very loud voices.
Did you really?
No, I'm kidding. I'm joking. I'm joking all the time.
So
if you
I want to talk.
Yeah, go for it. Do it.
Yeah, I'm going to talk about Wisconsin color. We talked about trees changing, and it is a nice change for you to go from, Manhattan out to New Jersey and your country, and you get to see color again. I intended to make this trip up to northern Wisconsin. We had a corporate retreat. I'm back working for the family company that was started 31 years ago. But every time I came home, it's really hard, as you know, to nail the perfect time to come and see color, because it's all based on light. It's based on weather and rain and all that. I would say where we're driving right now, my friend Whitney is driving the car as we head back to Madison. We're probably at about 80% color, but Wisconsin's a really cool place. My friend Stephanie Kless, the director of tourism, and if you go to travelwisconsin.com, their website, guys, there's a Wisconsin fall color report, and they've had this for a long time, Mark. So you can zoom in on the map. Of course, as technology changed, it's become even better. But you can see where the trees are changing in the state of Wisconsin if you want to follow the oranges or the blazing reds or whatever. And it's pretty cool. But I did look up because, you know, I don't want to be selfish and think I live in the most beautiful part of the world. Like you said, you have beautiful color there too. But if you're anywhere, you know, the list of the 10 to 20 most spectacular places across the U.S. for fall colors always include Michigan's Upper Peninsula at the top of the list. So this week it was a real treat. Whitney, myself, a few other friends, we headed up to the UP of Michigan to Bond Falls, and the colors were outrageous. It was fall all around us. It was absolutely beautiful with the waterfalls and everything. On that list, though, guys, Black Hills of South Dakota, Adirondack of New York, Aspen, Colorado, of course, Taos, which I think would be beautiful because Taos is filled with a lot of pine tree. But when you contrast, you know, the hardwood colors against, Taos.
I always think of them as the desert. I guess I don't know what I'm talking about.
Taos, well, no, not really. If you go from the south and you go north, you'll eventually hit pine trees. And Taos is really more like Colorado, Mark.
Okay.
Beautiful. Yeah, Leavenworth, Washington, which we talked about last week.
Okay.
No, not the prison. has a great Oktoberfest. So if you want to take a weekend or a week-long trip, I'd go out to Washington. Great stuff going on. Now, I do want to point out, too, forecasting what's ahead. I am going to be catching an airplane flying to Shreveport, Louisiana. And from today through the 7th of October is, you know, the big film prize, the Louisiana Film Prize, the largest film prize for short films, $50,000 award. 20 films, 8 bands, 11 chefs competing in the food prize. And it's great. I want to say, Mark, it was 2 years ago you wrote the movie I directed as part of that festival.
Oh, also, I want to. That's like your next thing for the next podcast.
Yeah,
totally talk about that.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
And I have roots down there, of course. And anybody who hasn't heard us before, I got a whole big old family in Mississippi, and on Natchez on the Mississippi-Louisiana border. So
beautiful area.
I'm into that whole thing.
Yeah, the South is a cool place to go to, and actually, I'm excited about some good food. I mean, we have okay food in Wisconsin. Actually, it's great food, you know, cultural food, fish fries, and, you know, you had Putin up there, whatever, but the South really knows how to do food. So,
Putin?
We're going to talk about that.
No, Putin. Poutine.
What?
Are you talking about
Poutine.
French fries with gravy?
I'm talking about the Russian president.
Oh.
Yes.
Because in Canada, they have French fries with gravy. It's called poutine.
I know. Poutine, and you had a lot of it, I'm sure.
I didn't know you were doing a political thing. Okay.
No, I wasn't. I was just covering myself for not being able to pronounce the word right.
Oh, okay.
Okay. What you got? Let's do some quick stories, some news, and I want you to go off.
Stories, and then some fury, man, because I'm angry. I'm angry.
Mark's worked out. He's on fire.
I'm gonna hit my headlines, and then you hit yours.
Okay, you go.
Well, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Ring the bell. Ring the bell.
Ring my bell. Jamie Lee Curtis is at it again. Now, I was a big fan of the original Halloween. Are you there? Did you drop out on me?
Oh, I'm here.
Okay.
No, I'm here.
Just
Can you hear me?
like the dead air thing. Jamie Lee Curtis she just did a new Halloween, and I remember 1978, the original. It was so scary. It was like the grandfather of all these movies, and it's an iconic movie, the original Halloween. And she was just a teenager then. Now I think she's got to be in her 60s. And she did the 20th, too. I was thinking yesterday, oh, my God, it's been such a long time. I remember when she did Halloween 20, and it was like that was going to be the end of it. Now it's been 40 years, and she just did a new Halloween movie. I don't know if I'm going to see it. I'll watch it on Netflix. But anyways, good for Jamie Lee. Rosa, I'm just going to hit them all. Rosa Buglione, Queen of the French Big Top, dies at 107. I didn't know if you saw that one. Rosa Buglione, she danced with big cats as a teenager. She was married inside a lion cage, and she formed a French circus dynasty that made her Queen of the Big Top for more than eight decades. Rest in peace.
Wow.
What's something French I could say? Not Mon Amour, but anyway.
Bon appetit. Oh, that does something.
A Fox News contributor was fired for calling Kavanaugh's accusers lying skanks. This is true. His name is Kevin Jackson, but anyways, he's a black guy, but he called them skanks, which is pretty much what Trump did last night in Mississippi. He used more words than that, and he didn't use the word skank. But anyways, The U.S. just made life harder on LGBT diplomats and UN staff. I'm iffy on this one. I don't know if you saw this, but back in 2009, when Hillary was doing the State Department, same-sex partners could get visas if they worked at the United Nations or whatever in diplomatic staff. And Trump administration just rescinded that because they can get married. So they're demanding that they either get married by the end of the year or leave the country. So I'm iffy because that was not extended to opposite sex couples. So, sometimes I can be of two minds of something. But the problem, of course, is that a lot of these people cannot get married in their own countries. You know what I mean? And so it's probably, I don't think it's a good thing. But anyways, and then I'm going to close with this one and get on to my quote after you. Sharon Osbourne, did you see that she left the X Factor over in Britain?
Yeah, why? I didn't get the whole story.
Well, she was on Howard Stern's show, and he asked her why she didn't do the audition segments, which I didn't know she didn't, of the X Factor. And she responded, now, kids, this is an explicit show. So it's in his quote. She said, "Oh, fuck. I don't have to have those kids singing in my face. Those little shits, they all suck. It is like, hey, is this fucking karaoke or what?" Anyway, so she immediately left the show. There you go. That's my headlines. And then my big one is really just about what happened this morning. So.
Well, I do want to hear about it because you got me a little fired up about the thing they just rescinded that showed me about because I didn't know about it. So I'm going to switch gears real quick before you get worked out. Pringles, I always like a flavor forecast. I like to let folks know what's
You're
on
the food guy. I love it.
Horizon. I'm on it. Get this. The Japanese took an idea from us and they're incorporating. Well, they've done that with McDonald's and, Kentucky Fried Chicken and all that. But Pringles flavored ramen and noodles. That's right. They're doing a sour cream and onion flavored fried noodle. And they're doing a Pringles jalapeno and onion ramen. They're going on sale and starting today. I don't get it. Pringles. Maybe they just like to just say Pringles.
Pringles.
I don't know. Pringles. The Pringles are so good. Oh, all my love to Maya. I hope she's listening to our show today. I miss her, my friend that lives in D.C. Anyway, also big news. I am in Wisconsin. I found out. My friend Whitney informed me, and my brother and sister-in-law, of course, are in the show. Making a Murderer is coming back, Mark. The big Netflix series of a couple of years ago coming back with the second season.
Wow.
You got to binge that shit. October 19th, Mark. I know you love a good murder mystery because you write them.
I do, and I'm writing a new one, so go ahead.
Well, no, this one, everyone's like, what's it going to be about? Well, they are going to follow Avery and his nephew, who still sits in prison, Brendan Dassey, who's, I think, about 20, maybe he's in his 30s now, poor kid. It's going to follow how that conviction affected that family. So more of a behind-the-scenes, personal kind of thing. But what's interesting is one of the attorneys on the other side, Ken Kratz, if people remember that name, he's doing his own series called Convicting a Murder. So you got Making a Murder, and then you got Convicting Murder. And that's going to be a docuseries that's coming out in October 2019. He's like, don't waste your time watching this. You got to hear the real side of the story and wait until 2019 to find out what really happened. Whatevs. But big news, huh?
Yeah, big news.
Yeah, I can't wait. And then lastly, I just want to tell this cool story. Comet resembling a human skull is set to pass Earth after Halloween. Just in honor of your birthday, Mark. Happy birthday early. It's your birthday month. But it's called a dead comet. It resembles a human skull, and it's going to travel past the Earth less than a fortnight after Halloween. And you can Google it, guys, and see the images of it. It's officially named Asteroid 2015 TB145 for those interested. Discovered in 2015 by a team at the University of Hawaii. So it's very cool, and hopefully you'll catch this comet because it looks literally like the skull of any human or unhuman creature.
Well, and how often do you have the opportunity to use the word fortnight?
A fortnight, yes. I read that from a story. Fortnight.
Do you know what it is?
Score.
What is it?
No, the night before is some. Do you know what it is?
No, I think it's every 2 weeks.
Fortnight. Is it every 2 weeks? Do you know? I'm asking my companion in the car. She's shaking her head too. We don't know, but I do use the word score once in a while when I'm writing things that are like 20 years. I'll use the word score just to throw it in because most people should know what that means.
A score is a dozen.
No, a score is 20.
I didn't know that. I'm going to look up fortnight real quick because we can do that now.
Yeah.
We can look up everything.
Oh, I can look it up while you're getting ready.
It's 14 days. It's 14 days.
Oh, fortnight, 14
2
days.
weeks. It is 2 weeks.
Right,
I was right.
Yeah, you were right. You were right. All right. Kudos
Now,
to
do
you.
you have any final thoughts, or do you want me to do this, or we can do it both?
No, my thoughts are going to resemble yours and how horrible Trump is and this whole Kavanaugh thing. I'm tired. I'm just tired. And then McConnell, of course, wanted to push it to a vote this week. I'm sick. So you go ahead and close out the show.
Actually, I'm gonna start with well, okay, President Trump, of course. Nothing shocks, like absolutely nothing shocks me, because he just keeps going lower. Like, you, as human beings, as people with, having been taught some set of morals and ethics, I always think that there is a bottom, and there's not. There is no bottom with this man. And so last night in Mississippi at his rally, he was talking. He was talking about Kavanaugh and Christine Blasey Ford, and he mocked her. He mocked her memory and how she couldn't remember this and she couldn't remember that. And he's all about white male grievance and rage at this point.
Yeah.
But what infuriated me was that, for me, this is so much bigger than Christine Blasey Ford. Whether you think her accusations are credible or not, whether you think whatever her motivations are, it's way beyond that. Because to me, when the President of the United States stands in front of a cheering crowd and mocks a woman who came forward, you're telling everyone in this, every assault victim, everyone who's been molested in this country and has a secret, keep your mouth shut. Just shut the fuck up, because you're lying. And you see all of these people in their little red hats cheering and laughing, and it's like a scene from hell. And I can't stand them. I despise him. Please don't ever, not you, Rick, but do not ever talk to me about this man being a Christian, because if that's what a Christian is, I will never in 1,000 lifetimes be interested in being one. It's horrifying, and it's been all over the news now. And they cheer. What gets to me too is that they cheer like he's a piece of shit. I mean, he's just a fucked up, malicious, cancerous soul. But to have those people cheering while he mocks a woman who talked about being assaulted as a teenager, it's like, this is the bottom, man. And I bet you it's not. I bet you they're going to go lower. And then here's my quote, because it's part of that. And it's from Charles Blow, my favorite New York Times columnist, and I think it was yesterday's paper. He victimizing the victims again. One of the things he wrote was, and it's a long quote, but I think it's pertinent, especially after what happened last night. Quote, "The message that the Republican members of the Senate Judiciary Committee sent to survivors, mostly women, but also many men, is this: your pain is not our problem. Your bodies are not your own. Your voice, even at its strongest, is still weaker than any man's, no matter how sniveling and snide. We are here to protect the order, an old order, in which men rule, even when unruly and reprobate. They are saying to survivors, your word and your credibility may be all that you have, but they are not enough for you to be believed. They are saying that fear and trauma may have shocked you into silence, but in the end, you will be punished for that silence. They are saying that the failure of survivors, including children, to properly report and document their victimizations will be viewed later not as evidence of fear and shame, but as evidence of concoction and deceit." There you go.
Wow. Man, he has a way with words. So accurate.
He's awesome.
So
He's great.
sad.
And he's fearless. This is Charles Blow is not a man who has any concern for what anyone in his life who supports Trump, which he probably doesn't have any, but he doesn't care what they think.
Right.
And I care what they think, because I put stuff on Facebook, and I have friends who voted for Trump, and I don't want to
Right.
I don't want to hurt their feelings, so I'll take it down. Somebody like Charles Blow doesn't give a shit. I mean, he thinks this man is a monstrosity, and he never hesitates to say it. So I applaud him for that.
It's really interesting, and we'll sign off because we usually end with the quote, not our comments. But my friend Mike Riccozzi, I've referenced him on the show before. Very smart man, retired military after 20 years just last year. His wife Darla is actually flying in from Germany to meet me down for the film prize because she hasn't missed it from the beginning of time. So I met them down in Shreveport. But he is now like. Usually he's like you. He'll send private things to private groups, and his opinion he can't stand Trump. But this one has sent him over the edge. Like us, he's a feminist. Like us, not like us, but he has a daughter. He has a wife. He gets what's going on, and it's just amazing that this has brought him out. I've never seen him post so much on Facebook before. So, maybe the IRL goes somewhere, maybe it won't. Let's hope it does, but it's just sad times. We'll see. We'll have a different conversation in 2 weeks, won't we? More to report on.
Well, yeah, because we're off next week. And I did say to Frank at this morning, if Elisa Murkowski and Susan Collins vote to affirm Kavanaugh after this, they're beyond hope. I always thought Collins was a fraud anyways, but how, come on, no. So anyways, Rick, you have a great trip. We'll hear from you in 2 weeks and with lots of stuff.
Yeah, tell Wilma hi. Be sure to post a few photos of her on our Instagram.
I will.
page
As soon as
so
she comes out of hiding, she gets a new profile.
Do that. And I put a bunch of fall color pictures on our Instagram too, folks. So head over there and check it out.
Okay. Bye.
Have a good day, guys. Bye.